Hello all. Alright, let's talk about coal. Alright, and for your request, let's go right over to the board and see what types of coal there are first. The types of coal are anthracite and a whole bunch of others down to lignite. Okay, let's talk about where coal came from. It came from prehistoric vegetation that basically rotted down, and the more carbon that replaces the organics makes a better coal. The coal originally came from swamps and peat bogs, and the higher the carbon content in the coal, the higher the quality or the higher the rate of coal is. The lower coal ratings are these two down here, 3 and 4. These coals have more liquid in it, more water, and more organics, and is a softer, it's called brown coal. The anthracites are hard rock coal. Let's figure out what they're used for. Okay, anthracite is mostly home heating. It's the dirtiest coal, has the highest sulfur, and isn't used too much in industry, usually just for home heating. Bituminous coal is mostly a little cleaner, and it's used for generating electricity. So subtuminous, I think that's the correct pronunciation, is mostly used for heating and steel production. In fact, this coal is used for 90% of this coal is used in the steel industry. So in the manufacturing of steel, to melt steel, you need this type of coal, and 90% of the steel industry uses it to melt and process steel. Then you have, that's a lower sulfur coal and is considered cleaner burning, less carbon dioxide output, sulfur output. Now lignite or brown coal is the lowest sulfur and is considered the cleanest coal, but it also has the lowest BTUs. So it's mostly used to generate electricity. Do you have all this so far? Where is coal found? Coal is found in seams. Most of the time it's sort of something like this with the ground on top of it, and you mine it by a process of tunnels that goes into the coal seam with a giant machine that grinds it with a big wheel, and it brings the coal back, puts it in a train, right? Lots of coal cars, and then it's brought up and shipped out and processed. But there's a different type of coal field. It's called strip mining. Mostly a lot of the US and Canada are doing this. It's where the ground is strip mined of all the coal. Let's say you have a coal patch here and some over here, so they'll strip all the vegetation that used to be on top. They'll take all that off, sell it off to whoever needs that type of material. The trees and the different types of dirt is sold off, and then the coal is dug out, and then they put some of the junk back in, something like this. They fill it back in, and then they throw hydro seed all over the top of it and call it restored. You know, more coal industry news speak. So around the world, coal is really a small portion of the fossil fuel supply. It's mostly used for heating homes and used in industrial uses such as making steel. And the countries that use it the most are China, India, and the US. Obviously China is going to be the biggest polluter with coal because of its manufacturing. Whoever has most of the manufacturing needs a very hot heat source, and coal will fill that for a low price compared to gasoline or diesel or even natural gas. Natural gas is sort of cold. It doesn't heat up high enough to really do much in the steel industry. So, as I said before, coal is one of the worst air polluters there are. It's just lucky that there isn't that much use of it. However, let's go look and see what kind of pollution coal puts out. Okay, we have acid rain, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, mercury, and carbon dioxide. You have to go to where the pollution is the worst, and that has to be China. In 2013 and 2014, China had their worst air pollution in many of their cities ever. And in fact now, 2014, they've had their most polluted winter ever, with huge amounts of smog, choking smog, and people dying at a rate of 114 a week in China from this pollution. And China is not changing their ways. They have said point blank that the coal production will increase, not decrease, and that coal burning will also increase by quite a bit in China alone. The U.S. has started to export, or wants to export, coal to China, which is just making the U.S. part of the dirtiest fuel there is in the world, both here in the U.S., Canada, China, and other countries that mine coal. Coal is absolutely necessary for manufacturing. There's just no other fuel that will give it the heat it's needed in BTUs at the low price. However, we do pay for it in air pollution, as we'll see as we continue to burn coal more and more. Okay, that's just a really quick look at coal. I suggest if you want to know anything more, just look up coal mining or coal production, and there are loads of really cool videos that shows you the latest technology that the coal mining industry is using, both above ground and below ground. But it was an interesting research project, and thanks for the suggestion. Lately we've had quite a few new subscribers and lots of nice comments, really good comments on the videos. Some of them I can see, and then some of them just disappear. I don't know if people take off their comments or what's happening, but I appreciate all the new subscribers and the ups and the downs and the pluses and the minuses and everything else. So, until next time.